Hi, everybody. It is Saturday night, April 4th. I hope you all had a wonderful day. I was so happy that the sun came out for a little while and it warmed up and it stopped raining. That was the best part, was it stopped raining, right, Elena? We had a good day. We relaxed. We did some chores. We went on a couple of walks. And now it's time for story time. Woo! I picked a little bit more serious book tonight, but I really like this story. It has a really great ending. All right, I think you'll be happy. It is called The Invisible Boy, and it is by Patrice Barton is the illustrator, and the author is Trudy Ludwig. The Invisible Boy by Trudy Ludwig. Can you see Brian, the invisible boy? Even Mrs. Carlotti has trouble noticing him in her classroom. She's too busy dealing with Nathan and Sophie. Nathan has problems with what Mrs. Carlotti calls volume control. He always uses his outside voice inside way too much. Sophie whines and complains when she doesn't get her way. Nathan and Sophie take up a lot of space. Brian doesn't. The pages are stuck together. When the bell rings for recess, Micah and JT take turns choosing kids for their kickball teams. The best players get picked first. Then the best friends of the best players. Then the friends of the best friends. Only Brian is left, still waiting and hoping. JT glances in Brian's direction and just as quickly looks away. We've got enough players for each team, he tells the others. Let's play ball. And they leave Brian out. In the cafeteria, Madison and her friends talk about her birthday party. The rope swing over the pool was awesome, says JT. Yeah, so was the water slide, adds Fiona. That was the best pool party ever. I'm so glad you guys had fun, says Madison. Everybody did except Brian. He wasn't invited. At choosing time, while the other kids play board games and read, Brian sits at his table doing what he loves to do best. He draws fire-breathing dragons scaling tall buildings, space aliens locked in intergalactic battles, greedy pirates digging for treasure, and superheroes with the power to make friends wherever they go. Wow, he has a good imagination, don't you think? On Monday morning, Mrs. Carlotti introduces Justin, a new student to the class. Brian smiles shyly at him. Some of the other kids sneak looks at Justin, trying to figure out if he's cool enough to be their friend. They haven't quite made up their minds yet. At lunch, Madison and JT watch Justin eat with chopsticks. What's that? Madison asks as she points at Justin's food. It's bulgogi. Bull what? Bulgogi. It's Korean barbecue beef. My grandma made it for me. It's really good. You want to try some? Ew, there's no way I'd eat boogery. And the kids laughed, all of them. That is, except Brian. He sits there wondering which is worse, being laughed at or feeling invisible. I love beef bulgogi. The next day, when Justin goes to his cubby to put away his backpack, he notices a piece of paper with his name on it. Justin, I thought the bulgogi looked really good. Brian, and he drew a picture of himself eating with chopsticks. That's cute. At morning recess, Brian finds a piece of chalk on the ground and starts drawing away. Hey, you're Brian, right? Yeah. Thanks for the note. Hey, Justin, Emilio calls out from the tetherball court. You're up next. Okay, sorry, I gotta go, says Justin. By the way, that's a really cool drawing, he adds before taking off. Back in class, Mrs. Carlotti asks the kids to team up in 2s or 3s for a special project. The kids all scurry around the room to pair off. Brian heads towards Justin. I'm already with Justin, says Emilio. Find somebody else. Brian looks at the floor, wishing he could draw a hole right there so it would swallow him up. Mrs. Carlotti said we can have up to 3 people in our group. We're only 2. Come on, Emilio. Let's let him work with us. Oh, okay, I guess. That was nice of Justin. Mrs. Carlotti gives the class directions for the project. Your assignment is to work together to write a story about what you see in this photograph. Use your imagination and have fun. Whoa, cool, says Emilio. What kind of people do you think would live in houses like that? I don't know, but I bet Brian could draw them to go with our story, says Justin. Brian smiles as he takes out his lucky pen. And then there's all kinds of pictures of them doing the project together. The 3 boys. And they're presenting their project. Look at the cool pictures they made. Awesome. That looks like they had fun. It's lunchtime again. Brian's least favorite part of the day. Another 20 long minutes of kids talking and laughing with everyone else but him. Brian, he hears somebody shout. Hey, Brian, over here. Brian turns around and sees Justin waving him over. Emilio nods at Brian and he makes room for him to sit with them at the table. Awesome. Want a cookie? Thanks. Maybe, just maybe, Brian is not so invisible after all. The end. That was awesome at the end. And you know what I kept thinking about when I was reading this is exactly the kind of stuff why we have all our rules at lunchtime and at recess. That everyone can play and that we all have to get along. So I like that. That was a good one. All right. I hope you have a wonderful night. I don't know what kind of exciting things you're going to watch. Or you're just going to go to bed and relax. Tomorrow is Palm Sunday. Of course, we can't go to Mass, but I do know that they're streaming a lot of Masses on the internet. So hopefully you guys can find one to watch tomorrow. Okay? I will be back in the morning with prayers and tomorrow night with story time again. I did post a link for storybook replenishment, and I was already very excited to see that some people bought books to donate so that I have more books to read of all different kinds. That's posted on the Facebook page, so if you want to pick out one and donate it, that's awesome. If not, don't worry, we have plenty coming. All right? Have a good night. I miss you. See you tomorrow.